We know Labor says it will be voluntary, but we also know this is a lie because the bill has provisions to make it mandatory in several circumstances. The Australian people have spoken on Labor's dystopian digital ID legislation and firmly rejected it. And you just turn a deaf ear to it. You disgust me. Absolutely disgust me.
What we won't be doing is listen to people.
I will table a petition signed by 65,724 people calling on the Senate to repeal this insidious legislation. I want to express my thanks and admiration for those Australians standing for their privacy rights and the individual freedoms that this legislation seeks to undermine. I also want to acknowledge the courage of the thousands of Australians who gathered in cities around the country on the 5th of May to protest this legislation. One Nation is committed to the repeal of this legislation, effectively a joint effort by Labor and the Coalition to monitor and control the Australian people. We know the former Coalition government spent about $600 million preparing for the national digital ID system.
Shame, shame.
Shame. We know Labor has allocated another $288 million in the budget.
A great example of us providing cost of living relief.
We know this bill was rushed through the Senate with no debate and no scrutiny. We can safely predict they've lied. Labor continues to lie. It's an absolute disgrace. We know Labor says it will be voluntary, but we also know this is a lie because the bill has provisions to make it mandatory in several circumstances. But thanks to this petition, we also know that many Australians are opposed to it, and I call on the Senate to act accordingly. The waste of money that goes on is just absolutely ridiculous because, you see, it doesn't come out of their own pockets. They have no understanding. And when the Prime Minister goes on about how hard he had it in the House Commission House, oh, give me a break. We're crocodile tears as far as I'm concerned. He's never had a real job. He's been at university, he's worked in politics all his life. He's never gone without. If anyone went without, it probably was his mother that went without. So I have no pity for him whatsoever, and it's been just an excuse that he uses to get the sympathy from the general public.
Bleh.